pin them regular line.
Cubic's pretty cool. Yeah, I agree.
Do it.
Hello, chat, and welcome to another glorious Bunchcast. Today, we're going to be talking and focusing and fixating, like hyperfixation, on good old FABLE. That's right, chat. The new FABLE was announced, and it is coming out this year in a few months. I know, right? Crazy. It's all so crazy. After we streamed the Magic Circle game, and we saw, like, yeah, what it's like to throw together a game at the last second as a tech demo, then, trick people. And it's like, oh my god, it's kind of interesting, because, like, now we're seeing that. And there's a great case in point to that as well. So, we talked about it yesterday, and we're going to focus on it again. But let's look real closely. Shut up. Let's look very closely at the walking animation. Yeah, no, they're not unique. So, look at the male walking cycle, then compare the female walking cycle next to him, right? This is a female walking cycle. It's very girly and very gay. Now, we're going to look at the next walking cycle. That is a female character walking past the main character. Hit that walking cycle. It's masculine. It's male. So the gendered cycles are just randomly, haphazardly assigned. And by the way, this is coming from a studio that alleges they handcrafted their NPCs. Well, God, I don't want you to handcraft anymore because you're doing such a terrible job with my multicultural Albion. By the way, I want to point out, Squirrely Boy and Fuzzy and Hans and Chumpus and Reggie, that this is Albion. This is supposedly a reset, right? But Albion in the future is all white. What happened to the minorities? Chatfish. I think there was an Albion Hitler.
Albion.
An Albion Hitler arises in the second game.
Or in this universe, maybe there's a lot more to the land shapes the people than they want to let on.
Yeah, I feel like when they say handcrafted NPCs, they have this random character generator and they click it a bunch of times. Like, yeah, that's on. Click, 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 click. Yep, there's another one. Click, 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 click. There's another one. Handcrafted my ass. They all look terrible. Okay, and there's one last thing I got to point out, right? So, this is a fan edit of the thing as well, the walking cycle. And it also highlights the same problem.
Very effeminate walk.
Yeah, like, it's just, like, look at the fucking... like it's just this girly walk next to this masculine female.
So I'm going to explain a few things. Apparently, when they were going through the character selection, there was only 3 skin tones for the fucking male.
Oh my god.
Reminds me of a certain you can't pick blondes.
Harebrained schemes, yeah.
Because they didn't have a character selection stuff set up for this game. You were just going to be forced to play this ugly woman from the first commercial or trailer.
But the backlash was so great that they had to change it. They had to add a character creator.
Yeah, everyone was shit-talking it. Everyone.
And this is why it's incredibly important to shit-talk their handcrafted NPCs and everything else. I want this game delayed or canceled. One of the two things. I want it delayed or canceled. I want it delayed. Like, I want you to go back. I want you to handcraft those 1,000 NPCs. And I want you to cut that piece of shit fucking, like, Office reference. Like, don't get me wrong. The Office is funny. But, like, just putting Office things in your goddamn game doesn't fit. It's not FABLE. Also, his glass frames being modern, for God's sake, man, do some goddamn research. I cannot get over the fact that he is wearing modern glasses. And by the way, this doesn't even look like it's actually 1300s. This looks pre-Black Powder from what I'm seeing, but maybe I'm wrong. It looks pre-Black Powder. It looks like FABLE 1, which means that glasses wouldn't have been around at all. Looks like 1200s, 1100s.
It's impossible.
Because glasses weren't invented until the 1300s. And they were only for the super rich and super elite. And yet the random peasant has one.
It was fucking expensive to get the lenses.
Yes. Oh my god. Everybody looks like a modern Londoner rather than fairy tale caricatures of various British peoples that would look out of place if you put them in another town, says Objectively Bad. Yes, I agree. I 100% agree. I think you're 100% correct, and that's what I hate. I wish you weren't.
Unironically, Fable was always like poking fun at like British culture.
Oh my god. Lenses are expensive today. They are. They are still expensive today. I haven't
Lenses
gone
always
in.
been
I haven't
expensive,
gone
but
to the get
especially
new
when they were first
glasses.
being like developed, like
I
they were
know,
extremely
but even
expensive.
now, I haven't gone to go get new glasses because like the glasses I have are good enough because they are expensive. Like it just like like it's a couple $100. Like I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that unless they get real bad. Then I'll go and do it. Because the glasses place would always call me like, "Hey, you should come and get your eyes checked." I'm like, "Hey, how about not?" Like I know you just want the money. Like you just want. I'll get my eyes checked when I think it's time to get them checked. How about that? The man with the glasses. I hate it. I hate everything, says Moogie. That's fair. If this, Donald says, if this is UK, it would have been 1200s to mid 1200s. Yeah, because Albion is made by Lionhead Studios. It's the brainchild of Peter Molyneux and the team that made Fable. And the idea is that it's basically fantasy Britain is what Albion is. There's even like fantasy like Scotland / Ireland is like an island, if I remember right. But it's been a while since I've played the game, so I'll have to refresh myself. I intend to play through the Fable again to fully refresh myself before the launch this year. So we will be playing Fable 1 and 2 for sure. Don't know about 3. Just to get a feel for what the old Fables were like again. Because when this thing launches, we're going to play this, and I guarantee you it's not going to feel like Fable. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's obviously apparent that the walk cycles aren't related. They are like the male and female ones. It's ramshackle. And so much like what we sort of theorized yesterday, the more we look at it, the more it looks like we were correct. It looks like this tech demo was thrown together, and it was a tech demo. They slapped it together, and the last art of the game is going to be basically shat out very quickly. Because it doesn't, they didn't show off a lot of gameplay, did they? They showed off a little bit of combat sequences and some walking around, a job here and there, but like they didn't really show any like genuine, like, let's go from walking around from this town to that town over there because we have an open world. They didn't really demo off their
So,
open world at all.
what I'm thinking is actually going to happen is going to be a Starbuild situation where they sell this open universe and everything, but it's actually just like you teleporting from one part of the map to the other.
It's just hollow. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yep.
Welcome to the stream show. She said, "What do you mean no black female?" So there was a post. So this is actually interesting. We need to talk about this because in the past, Fable had this problem before. In 2016, there was an article posted by GameSpot. Now, why does a decade-old news matter? It matters deeply, by the way. Microsoft rejected Fable devs' idea to put Black Woman on Fable 3's cover. So originally, way back when Fable 3 was launching, they wanted to put a black woman on the cover. Now, we're gonna skip over basically this section here, but yeah, that part there, and we're going to read this. As part of Eurogamer's fascinating in-depth report on Fable developer Lionhead Studios comes a story about a time when the team pitched Microsoft on the idea of putting a black woman on the cover of Fable 3. According to former art director John McCormack, which we've done some digging on this guy just to like get his background and details, Microsoft vetoed the idea. He was not pleased. That's an understatement. Now we're going to read an excerpt. So, this is from the actual thing. They were going, and this is from John McCormack himself. They were going, this is him retelling the story. They were going, you can't have a black person on the cover, and you can't have a woman. And you want a black woman? And I was like, yes, I do. Because it's about be whatever hero you want. According to McCormack, Microsoft said, no, it's a white guy. That's just the way it is. We know what sells, and that's fucking it. Stop arguing. And I was like, fuck you. That was a huge fight. He's retarded. John McCormack is kind of an idiot, is what. When we did some background checking on this guy, he's not very smart, nor is he that great. But he is a relatively competent artist, but he is ideologically possessed, meaning that his vision and his ideas are politically motivated, which makes anything he makes tainted. So, the big thing is that, yeah, and when you look at the black female character that I think they wanted, it was probably Paige from Fable 3, because I did a lot of research on this last night with Little Chumpus.
It probably would have been Paige.
It would have been Paige, if I had to guess, and it doesn't make sense, and also, he's wrong. John McCormack is kind of talking out his ass here, because Fable 3, when did it, correct me when it launched, it was like 2010, right? Or 2011? Or 2009? Go double check that, because this article is by
going there.
2016, so this has been a few years time since then. I forgot the specific year.
2010.
It was released 2010, October 26th.
Yep, 2010. So it's been about 6 years before this interview of 2016. And so he's kind of making stuff up now, because I went and checked, double checked. Fable 3 does not have a character creator, because I looked up why he did that, why he said this. He said the general idea was that he wanted a black woman on the cover because it would have, it was about character creation, making your own character, and what better way to show it than by having a black woman on the cover, because that would mean that, yeah, it's not the orthodox character. You can make whatever character you want. Well, here's the reality. Reality check. Fable 3 doesn't have a character creator. When I did digging, Fable 3 had a website that you could make villagers on, like make your own custom villagers and stuff, and you could put them in the game and stuff if you pre-ordered the game. And that was a feature. And I do remember one of my friends pre-ordered Fable 3, and we went to the website because I had internet. He didn't, because we lived in the rural area, and we made a character for him. And then that way his Xbox had the character of that random little villager in his game. So, yeah. This kind of whole article kind of feels like he's saying this now in 2016, because this is when the woke mind virus was popular. It was becoming popular in the industry. Go ahead, Buzzy.
Yeah, the Fable
Bucky?
3 only has like the 2 siblings you can choose from, the male or female.
You play as a
Right.
boy or a girl.
Yep.
And
And that's it. That is the only character choice you get. There's no
And that was
You
introduced in
can't
Fable
play
2.
as a black female if you wanted to.
Yeah, in Fable 1, you weren't even given that choice. In Fable 1, you were just a boy.
your dead father.
You were hero, and you can say follow. That's it.
Follow. Yeah, because I think Fable 1, you were just a boy, and in Fable 2, you had the gender choice. In Fable 3, you had that choice too, but there was no other further choices on character creation. Character creation was very limited and was more focused on your actions, whether you were good, whether you were evil, whether you were agile, whether you were strong, whether you were, magical, and that would affect your character's appearance through body morphing, which was a huge mechanic that they removed. There's no body
They've
morphing.
removed for this one.
There's no body morphing
Oh.
whatsoever.
No longer can
So
you stuff your face full of pie and become fat.
You can't
Before
even
we
play a
move
muscle
past
mommy.
it-
Think about
Go
it.
for it.
Red Dot Zebra donates 50 sec and says, "How many black people are in the game anyway? I mean, if it's a game with tons of black people, a black person on the front cover makes sense."
Fable 3
So-
has hardly any.
When it comes to the Fable series, there are the
As big
occasional black
characters.
characters.
Yep, like
There's occasional black characters, but most of the time they're
Whisper and
foreigners.
Thunder from the first game, which were foreigners, and I can't remember
Yep.
any in the second game that were
There
named
were some,
characters.
but it was similar. Like they weren't from Albion; they were from somewhere else.
Yes, and then in the third game, the only notable black female character I can remember is Paige, which is the only character I can think John McCormack wanted on the cover. And when you look at Paige's art design and her conceptual work here, you know what? I'll just pull up Paige from Fable 3, and you'll see exactly.
While you pull that up, India says, "I think I'll take a nap."
You better be awake by the time the RP starts. So this
Yeah,
is super
yeah.
fruity, and you can kind of see why why he wanted Paige to be the design, because Paige is like this super like random, like lol random. Look at all the goo dads and goofy culture things he has on me. She's not from Albion like proper, but she is one of those characters where she's kind of like her own thing. In fact, let's open up the wiki
Yeah.
page.
Yes, she's also a foreigner, to point out.
Paige is the leader of the Bowerstone Resistance, an underground organization working against King Logan, but she is not the main character. She's a side character, important to note. Paige and the rest of the Resistance live in the privacy of the Bowerstone sewers. Paige puts her resistance duties above all else, having witnessed firsthand the injustice and suffering that Logan has imposed on the common folk. Though Paige is never quick to trust a stranger, even though she kind of does, she is still compassionate and cares for her people. Early life, she grew up in Bowerstone Industrial because she's part of the Empire, because they're kind of like a British Empire. So maybe she was born in Bowerstone. But either way, it's one of those things where in the first game, they were very much not native. And then the second game, not so much either. But in the third game, you could kind of argue because Albion was kind of like an imperial power, the equivalent of Britain. Like you have territories overseas, and you actually are a colonial power. So that makes sense for the third game, I think. But it does not
Yeah,
make
but she
sense for
wouldn't-
the first or second. She's not native.
She's a revolutionary. She's a conqueror, not a citizen.
Yeah.
She's going up against Logan, and Logan is technically a evil king because
I do want to
No,
point out
Fable's morality is very black and white.
it is, but I also want to point out there was a reason Logan was doing the things he was doing.
No, he was right. Everything he did was right. It's just that he was technically called evil by the game's karma system.
yeah, he should have just owned a bunch of land.
He just was not leading. He's not building up the army properly.
Yeah,
He
wasn't
just
building up
should have
a
had
lot
like a
of
million
renting.
gold. and he
See,
wouldn't
if
have any
they were ever
problems.
to redo Fable 3, it would be really cool if you could actually side with Logan, your brother, and help him actually set things right. But yeah,
I mean, I did. I literally just dumped a shit ton of gold because I owned all of the houses in
Yeah,
Albion.
it's like, yeah, Logan, I'm not gonna lie, you're a shitty slumlord.
Yeah. Look here, I'll fill up the entire treasury.
yeah,
You
because
just
the
have
big
a
plot twist
shabillion
in Fable
gold,
3 is
know?
that Logan isn't doing what he's doing out of malice or hatred. He's doing all these horrible decisions because he's trying to prepare his nation for a war against a great evil that they're not ready to
A
face.
massive invasion.
And he doesn't even like
The
the decisions he
darkness.
makes. Like, if you look at his character design, because here, you want to see something also interesting? I will pull up Fable 3.
Back when bad guys were more than just I'm evil.
So if you look at Logan's actual character design as a whole, like, I want to point out some things here. You can see that his hair is slicked back, but notice his eyes in particular here. They have big bags under them. Now, you would usually think that's, oh, maybe it's because he's evil, you know. But it's actually stress. His character's face, you can see the stress actually in the wear on it. He's not that old, yet he looks like he's shriveling up. And it's because he's literally faced with all these hard decisions. Even this concept art here sort of highlights that same sort of look.
I would say it's more obvious in the concept art than the actual character art, because you can easily just say that the bags under the eyes is just like a style choice.
Yes, and it very much feels that way because the entire concept is that, you know, he's making hard fucking choices. And the choices he's
want
making
actual-
aren't easy.
If you want the actual like personification of evil, you have Reaver. I'm posting him in VC.
Oh yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Like Reaver is like
Yeah,
the
Reaver
personification of
is
fucking
evil. Yes, he is a
Reaver
tycoon.
is-
He is greedy. He is
I like Reaver.
No, and then don't forget his little side quest thing where it's like, yeah, I need to sacrifice someone so I can stay young forever. And then he has
I like-
to do it like every 60 years,
Mhm.
and he does it.
Every
I
I like
60
Reaver
yeah.
because like whenever you choose to side against him, he goes, oh, "Okay, sure, we'll feed the orphans."
He does it.
Oh,
He's always so
fine,
I
bummed out about
guess.
it. Yeah.
Well, no, because from his perspective, I just have to wait until you're dead, and then I can make the argument again.
Pickle Father Nurgle donates
Waiting
$5
hard
and
over
says, "Been a while since I caught a stream live, but I just wanted to say I'm glad I can help support the channel now. Stay based." Well, appreciate it, Pickle Father. We appreciate your support. Thank you for your generous donation. And Red Dot Zebra donates 56 euros and says, "The fun part is that when you take over, you can solve everything with infinite money." Yes, because of
Yeah.
the clock system and how money making actually works. Like, poor Logan just didn't know how the economy worked in Fable. If he only knew, he could have solved the problem without any bloodshed whatsoever. Genuinely.
Well, there would have been bloodshed, but
It's
not
easy to
for
break the
buildup.
game's economy.
Yes, it really is.
Isn't that just true of every Fable game?
yes.
Fable
Some
1 is
more than others, but
not
yes.
easy to break the economy because you don't have the price thing that you can do in Fable 2. And so it's a little bit more tedious in Fable 1, if I remember right.
But
If
you
I remember
can
right.
do it, is the point.
I don't remember being able to break it.
Donald says,
Remember his
I played
grind.
Fable 2 recently, and Reaver sacrificed people yearly to keep his youth.
Was it even sooner? I thought it was 60 years. So yeah, it's even more evil.
Yeah, I mean, he's evil. Reaver is the evil companion character. Because in the first Fable, you don't really have a companion. The closest thing you have is Whisper.
Is
But
the
Whisper
dog.
will mirror... No, Fable 1, you don't have a dog. Fable
thought
1...
you-
Nope. That's Fable 2.
Nope.
Yep.
Fable 1, you have Whisper. And Whisper will mirror whatever opposite you are. So if you're good, she'll be evil. If you're evil, she'll be good. And then
Curious.
you have to choose what to do with her brother, Thunder, at the Thunderdome.
I wonder what they're referencing.
Grape him.
I just made that up, by the way. But it's the arena. And that's where you basically, choose to kill him or choose not to. And then Whisper will become like
Did you
a...
kill him?
I've always killed him, so I don't know. Is it possible for Whisper not to be like somebody you have to kill? Because I've always killed her.
If I remember, if you
I've
spare
always
him, he shows up later in the game to help. I don't remember.
He's still upset whenever you kill
never,
Whisper, though.
I've never spared Thunder because I let chat do it, and the first time I played through, I killed Thunder because I thought Thunder was evil.
So why does Whisper show up in the second game?
She doesn't. She doesn't. She's
She's
in
the
second
Oracle,
game.
right?
No, that's
the
her
Oracle
sister.
Is
Yeah, that's
Oracle's
the
The sister of
sister.
game character 1.
Yeah, who's voiced by or the same
Gotcha.
voice.
Yeah,
actor,
Whisper's
correct.
gone. She shows up in Fable 2, and she's like super old. Does she show up in Fable 3? I can't remember. She's like immortal
I
if
don't
that's the case.
think she shows up in 3, but she's definitely in 2.
And 2, yeah, because
Okay, so you
she's
can
your
spare
guide.
Whisper.
You can spare
I
Whisper?
just think
Okay.
it's funny that if you kill, it's just people. The reason a lot of people kill Whisper is like she called me farm boy.
She called me. I ran her through with my blade.
She made fun of me when I was young, so I must
So-
kill her.
I posted a few things for Fable as well, Gibbs.
Let's take a squeak peek. A squeak peek.
So if you scroll up, right past that. So this is the dev team.
Oh my god. All right, let's see how many white men there are.
Man,
1,
man.
2,
No, Kibbs, you're assuming their pronouns. They could be they them.
3, 4. Oh my god, they're all women.
Actually, Reglan has a point. There was a lot of they thems.
Oh shit. All right, 1.
As you'll see with the next picture.
There's a few in the background, but not by much.
Level designer, playground, fable, non-binary, trans, femme, they, her. Oh, secretly a deer. Oh, what's with the deer fetish?
So that's the person that was, I
Like
think,
Debbie as a kid.
that is the self-insert for the character.
Oh my fucking god.
Possibly. I don't really see it, but that's fine. It
Yeah, I
could
don't
be.
see it.
I'm not very charitable into just
But at the
mean,
same
like, the
time,
fable
I don't
character's
like
less
them.
hideous, but-
So yeah.
yeah.
I'm basically saying the backlash makes them just want to make the game more queer.
Let's read. To be honest, this just makes me want to make more aggressively queer games. Fuck the hate and fuck all of you, is what she just said to all of you, chat. I don't do this for you. I hate you. I do this for 15-year-old me who thought they would never make games or be the woman they knew they were. Wow,
Which
you know
is
what I
why
did when I was
never
15 or
make
10?
good
I was
games.
working on becoming a game dev too. Been working all my life on that. You know what? Oh my god, I hate people like this. Oh my fucking god, because it's like
What's the
there's
next
no
part?
fantasy about like women never making games. I remember back then, and that was never a thing. Then they say, not going to lie, I've managed to keep my head fairly well for this whole. What? I've managed to keep my head fairly well
Zoom
for this
out,
whole.
I think you're not scrolling down.
No, it cut
That's
off
it.
there. Basically, they're
Okay.
basically patting themselves on the back for not overreacting to the backlash.
Yeah, no, fuck. The backlash needs to be louder. We need to break them, chat. Our backlash must grow. You must scream louder. Continue to be
Next
loud.
image.
Let them break. Break them, chat. Break them.
Is this
Oh
also
my God.
unironically a situation?
These are all
with
the
Black Last of Us
NPCs.
Part 2?
Welcome to Albion, my multicultural black Indian
Error?
hero.
Asian?
Yeah.
Black.
Ironically, if you look at the LinkedIn of Playground Games, it is what Rapier posted. Hyper woke, full on alphabet crowd.
My mother said I'd never be a carrot, and look at me now. Never give up on your dreams, kids. Thank you for the nation, Red Dot Zebra. Very generous.
One day you too become a carrot.
But yeah, the big problem here is that, again, multiculturalism is not a bonus. It's never been a bonus. You should be focusing on making a good game, but they're not focused on making a game. They're focused on making a message. They don't understand what made Fable great because they're too busy tearing down what made Fable to begin with. We talked about earlier how there's no good and evil. And what's interesting is that if you actually look at the OG Lionhead Studios and what they made, like, let's talk about the main two big games they made, Black and White, and they made Fable. Both have a binary good or evil system that is very based on what kind of ethos? It's based on a Christian ethos. I'm not Christian. I don't particularly see myself as very religious, but that doesn't matter. the games were based on a religious ethos of good and evil. And that's true. That's what they were based on. The reason why FABLE, the new FABLE, does not have a good or evil system is because the good and evil system is very much based on the Christian ethos, and they do not like Christianity. Albion is also multicultural, so they're removing the good and evil, they're removing any sort of uniqueness that Albion had as a people, and simply just blackwashing them, making them disappear. Because what is Albion primarily based on? It was made by a British team. What is the legacy of Lionhead Studios? Bullfrog Studios. What is Bullfrog Studios? Bullfrog Studios is a British game dev team. What is Lionhead Studios? A British team. What does this all have in common? What is Britain? Britain is Albion. Albion is Britain. The whole thing is built up upon British humor. It's built upon these British cultural things. And what is this game actively doing? Deconstructionism. It is tearing down every fabric, every foundation, every pillar that made FABLE what FABLE is. Tearing down the good and evil ethos because it's Christian. It's problematic. Tearing down the general white population of Albion because it's racist, because white people, shouldn't exist. That's literally what these people think, by the way. They literally are racist. They hate you. They want you to die. They want you to be genocided. It's not even a debate. It's not even a question. It's not just me making an assumption. This is a pure fact. It's what they want. It's what they always go on about. If they have these LGBTQ flags, if they identify as a fucking deer, it's because they'd rather be a deer than be a white person because they hate you so much. They're self-hating little pieces of shit who can't tolerate themselves, and so by extension, they cannot tolerate you. These people, if we can call them that. They're identifying as deer. Are they really
like
people?
these
They
people.
chose. You people. We need Garethos in here.
Your
Uh,
I can never
It's
trust
funny you mention, British comedy, because that was one of the main things that makes the new Fable quintessentially British, is they're focusing heavily on British comedy, which ties into the next thing I posted, Gibbs.
Ugh. This one?
This
So they've just put them in here. Like, look at this fucking shit.
So Fable will have the office-style cutaways in the full game.
I'm here to conquer the vegetable, not a euphemism.
That's not Fable. You're literally... These are annoying, is what they are.
These office-style cutaways are in the full game. In case you didn't know, Fable is very British, and the new game is very much inspired by comedies from the UK.
The game is
even
very
bringing in
British.
actors like
It's very
Gungan.
British. It's why
We're
we've
gonna
actively
include
made it as
novels.
little British as possible by trying to remove them all.
But they're also mimicking the style of interview scenes popularized by The Office. Playground Games chief
Again,
And the Office is British, therefore.
instead of following in the footsteps of what made Fable Fable by just actually being faithful to Fable, they're doing everything they can to tear down what made Fable Fable. Not only tearing down the good and evil ethos, tearing down the body morphing, removing pretty much anything that has anything to do with Fable, and multiculturalizing it, and doing all this other crap that they don't need to do, right? They're also just changing the formula. Instead of, being faithful, I hate this studio so much. These fucking chuckle fucks throw around Lionhead Studios names like it's something that has reverence. Don't you dare put Lionhead Studios name in your pathetic little mouths again, because you little chuckle fucks are the reason why they're dead. You basically replaced them. You're literally standing on the corpse of a giant, and you can't even fulfill them. And I want to point out that Lionhead Studios, when they went out like a little mouse. Oh my god. Their final hurrah was not a final hurrah, but you know what I mean. But it's one of those things where when it comes down to it, they throw around the name of Lionhead and all these things in the past, and then they go out of their way to deconstruct and destroy and remove everything that made Fable Fable. The good and evil system, I don't like it. You see so many corporate shills coming out to fucking bootlick this company, right? For being unfaithful and now dogpiling any critics. It's already happening. It's already begun. The forums are on fire. The discussions are on fire. You need to be vocal and you need to be loud. You need to continue to pull more and more people, as many people as we can, to make sure that everybody is being loud and vocal about how much they hate this shit, so that when this game launches, it doesn't get a chance to breathe. It doesn't deserve it. They've already pissed on the legacy. They don't like you. They fucking hate you. Why should we give them any benefit of the doubt if they were never going to do that to begin with us? They don't like you, chat. They never did. They don't like a single one of you. They hate you. They hate who you are. They hate everything you like. They hate that you like Fable. They want to make fun of you and they want to mock you. They despise you. These people are filled with so much hatred that, like, it can't be contained. You saw that post from one of them? That's just the surface level shit. Imagine the shit they feel on the inside. You know they're doing it with giddy and joy. They're clicking their heels together. Everything they remove, they're smiling like, yeah, that'll really stick it to those chuds. How dare they? How dare they like the old Fables? How dare they like a male character on the cover? Don't you want, you little fucking racists? How dare you not want a black person on the cover? Bigots. They hate you. They never liked you. And they want you to suffer. They want to ruin the thing you love and parade it around as their own. That's what they want.
I'm going
Genghis,
to point out something too.
go ahead.
Microsoft saved us back then.
Microsoft was
They
the
did.
hero by accident.
We didn't know it. We didn't know it. Not all heroes wear capes. Some of them wear corporate suits.
And they didn't say shit about it either.
Yes. So Microsoft literally told them to pound sand because, yes, by the end in 2010, reminder, chat, we got to do some history. By 2010, the golden age of gaming was beginning, the twilight years. 2010, we'll call it the twilight years, because by 2013, the twilight years are over and the dark age begins. And games are beginning to take a notable dive in terms of quality. At the end of 7th gen and 8th gen is very bad. 8th gen is still historically received as one of the worst generations along with 9th. Like, it's really bad. It's just a bad generation all around. Nothing has been good since on the same level. And it's, people try to say, like, you don't like anything good that's new. That's false. They try to do that to silence you, by the way. So many indies come out and we give them a time of day. It's a distraction, yeah. Because the reality is they've infiltrated. They've infiltrated these institutions, these studios. They wormed their way up because they got popular. They hate nerds and they hate geek culture and they hate gaming. And they most of all hate you. They hate you. Don't make a mistake. Don't give them the benefit of the doubt. They don't deserve it. They were never going to do it to you.
Because they're banking on you, giving them the benefit of the doubt, because they're preying on your good intentions.
Yes, you are a good person. These people are terrible. Do not let them manipulate you. Genghis donates $5 and says, are you opposed to multiculturalism because of your dead father? Would we be able to mod in Amelia in the next Fable game? Hashtag clams, hashtag free show. I have no idea to what the new Fable game's modability will be. Mods,
they probably will not want mods.
Yeah,
mods,
I doubt they're going to be
Microsoft,
too welcoming.
yeah, so Microsoft's general policy on modding usually seems to be that it depends on the studio in question how receptive they are, right? When it comes to the MCC, Master Chief Collection, very receptive. When it comes to Age of Empires, very receptive. But when it comes to certain other games, not so receptive. Because
I don't see this company liking the idea of mods.
now Fable
especially
Anniversary,
considering their opinions on
the
other
last
stuff.
recent PC Fable was not Fable 3, it was Fable Anniversary. Fable 3 you can't even acquire anymore, by the way. And Fable 2 is never ported to PC. Fable Anniversary has modding support. So if we're going by historical precedents would indicate that this one should have some level of workshop, though this is just purely mere speculation at this point, right? Like the forums, by the way, on this shit are fucking on fire. Like this shit show is a disaster the likes of which I haven't seen. My comment was deleted. Why are there so many black characters? It's all just hype and fluff. Dear devs, do you guys hate money, fame, or success?
We won't talk our subtitles. Don't skip that one.
This is the game designer looks like in real life. Like it's universally
Can you make them blacker?
panned. It's being
You make 'em
universally. I know, but like, yeah, no,
That's
it's just shit
right
posts.
there.
Like, look, and it's just pages of just shit shows.
Modern day London or Albion.
The NPCs are insanely ugly. It looks
Did
pretty
all
woke
people
to
in Albion
me.
kill all the minorities?
The LG tag must stay. Can you please fix the male walking
unironically,
animation?
it's either that or literally like just over time.
Hey, look, another Turkish localization thread.
Did
I-
all people in
unironically-
Albion kill all the minorities?
No, that's what
My
either
God.
that happened or like for whatever reason, magic or otherwise, they just became lighter complexion.
So yeah, so the basic thing is that when it comes down to it, it's not even debate. There's no schism. It's not a close race. The media wants you to believe otherwise. The game media wants you to believe otherwise, and the company and the corporate bootlickers want you to believe otherwise. There is no schism. The vast majority of people don't like the new Fable game. Those that do are in the minority. You are the majority. So be vocal, because we have this in the bag. Just be vocal. That's all you have to do. Be loud, be obnoxious, complain about it. Obviously respect the terms of service. But the reality is that when it comes down to it, these people, this game's going to bomb. It will bomb unless they make radical changes. And I mean radical. And that would be basically making it look mid. Like, there's too many fundamentally bad design choices here that fundamentally go against everything that made Fable. No good and evil system. No body morphing. And you know why that really is? I wouldn't even be surprised. I wouldn't even be surprised at all. It's because they haven't even started making the game proper yet. They have like 5 months to do it. It's probably a Mass Effect Andromeda situation.
I think it's an easy answer to say they just don't like the morality system, but I think a more practical answer would be they just don't want to program or create one.
I would not
because
be
it would
surprised.
just be easier not to do that for dev time.
I mean, we already know that the new Fable was in development hell. There's been 2 major announcements about it in the past. One time was like as a multiplayer like game where one was a game master and 4 players played as the heroes, and that looked really rancid. It had nothing to do with Fable, and that blew up. And then there was the really bad female character and that fucking Magic Bean dude. And they seem to have committed to that. They're not really making any changes. They made a character creator, and that looks like it was slapped together last minute because you guys have been so vocally negative about it that it's forced them to do one positive change. The reality is, and here's the painful reality, Fable needs to be delayed. It needs to be delayed multiple years. You need to delay this by 2 to 3 years. And you need to go back to the drawing board and you need to redo it. And you need to fire everyone from Playground. They are incompetent and they cannot be salvaged. I'm sorry, but you've proven that you can't do the job. You need to go. It's time for you to leave. Like, you just aren't able to pull this off. And Microcucks, you need to get your shit together and get an actual studio that knows what they're fucking doing. Because this Playground team doesn't know shit. Like, they are fucking missing the mark here so hard. This shit isn't even barely Fable. The only thing that's Fable is like you can buy stuff and properties and stuff. And that's like it. It's not very good. It's painful. It's actually hurting my soul. Have you already talked about the lead game director, narrator leaving the project yet? He already dumped. He jumped ship. The rats are going, chat.
That is from Yinless, though.
Double check that. Yeah.
Before getting into that, there was a donation missed from Red Dot Zebra. No, that as well. But we missed Red Dot Zebras.
Go ahead and get it.
So he did donate 50 seconds as my brother said I'd never be a carrot, and look at me now. Never give up on your dreams, kids.
I read that.
You did.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Okay, I missed you saying that.
Next one.
Then we got on Stream Elements from Psychostar. Video game developers have become one of the most insufferable category of people in modern history. I predict it will get much worse. I blame the millennials. Looks in mirror.
Yes,
Sigh.
you are right. The sad reality is so that a lot of people... Okay, so I wish we had Robinsky here because we could talk about that because we've talked to so many other game devs before. But the big thing is that when it comes down to it, most developers getting into game making now are doing it for a couple of reasons. One, because they just want to make that game from their childhood again. And you see that a lot with these indies where there's like, oh, it's just another JRPG and it has no vision beyond that. It's just them wanting to recreate their childhood. And that's fine because it's a passion project. It's not like they're hurting anybody. In fact, if anything, they're appealing to other people who want to relive that moment too.
And ironic in terms of like the types of game, that is like one of the most like benign type of like indie dev. It's like, I just want to make thing from childhood again. I think that's perfectly fine.
But in his own way. It doesn't really push the envelope. It doesn't really benefit the industry. It sort of gets released and it does okay, but that's kind of it. Right? That's fine. That's benign. It doesn't hurt anything. And there's a market for it. Some people just want to re-experience Final Fantasy for the 30th time. Right? And then there's the occasional dev where you get somebody
That,
who's
that,
like,
is, that is so painfully accurate.
it is, because it's that way. It's like, oh, they just want to remake the same game again, and it's not going to have any new features, new mechanics, new story. It has nothing that particularly to tell other than that it wants to be like, let's experience that era again. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I'm totally okay with that because that's awesome. It's just them pursuing their dream, right?
It's like, look at people that like play video games. It's like, oh, so what are you doing with your new PC? I'm playing 15, 20-year-old games.
The second
okay,
sort of
good.
developer you're going to get is the person who wants to push the envelope and do something a little bit more radical. These are people that you should keep an eye on because they're a lot more interesting, in my personal opinion. But again, it's down to subjectivity. There's no wrong choice here. Factorio Dev is the one I'll just name off the bat, or the Project Zomboid devs of IndieStone. Now, IndieStone did take the idea of CDDA, but they furthered it by hyper-focusing on something. So again, they took the idea of a concept of something that existed, but made it into a specific thing, and then tried to push it further, push the envelope. That's the kind of developers I like, that I'm more interested in. Factorio, same thing. They took the concept of like factory making and like logistics and like, what can we do to make this into a game? And they basically gave birth to an entirely brand new genre type. And that's really
it's
cool.
psyoping people into being system engineers.
Pretty much. And so like, that's another one as an example. So there are like these people that do exist. And then the third type of like developer we get are those who are the anti-developers, the anti-Christ. These are the guys. These are the guys that come along and they want to make their own game, and they want to do that too. But instead, instead of the indie path, they chose to go in the industry. Now, there are technically more types of dev, but I'm just using these three for an example. But these are the people that we are concerned with the most. They pick up a title for a studio, and they're like, okay, I'm going to work on this one, and I'm working on this one for this studio, and I'm going to make this Fable game. I don't like Fable, but I'm going to make this Fable game, and I'm going to do it, but I'm going to make it my Fable. And so instead of being respectful, they start changing things into the thing they want it to be rather than the thing it should be and needs to be. The reality is, if you're assigned to work on a project to make a Halo game or a Command & Conquer game or a Star Wars game, it needs to be a Star Wars or Halo or whatever game. Like, that's what you're making. It's about making it accurate to that. It's not the game you want to make. In the industry, this is how it works. And I know this because my uncle gave me the same spiel when I first started getting into the industry. The same spiel.
You work for all the companies you don't want to work for, so you can make the 1 or 2 games you actually want to make later in life.
It's not necessarily that. It's that you're going to have to make games that you're not going to be super interested, but you need to be on your A game. You need to be doing your best, providing the best work you can, and taking it absolutely seriously, because at some point in these studios, usually your time for those who actually want to make their own game, because there's only a handful of people in the studio that actually want to make their own game. Most people are just there, for the paycheck, or they just like their job and they don't want to make a game because it's a lot of work. But there's about 5 or 10 people in these 100-man studios that want to make their own game, maybe even 20, right? And eventually those 20 people, they're each going to get their shot to make their game with that studio. And that's the thing. It's not always the same for every studio. It depends. The more autonomy a studio has, the more likely that's the case. But that was the old methodology, right? You're going to do a really good job on this Baldur's Gate game and this Icewind Dale game, and you're going to get your shot at your own game. And when the time comes around, the studio's going to help you get your game because you helped them with all their games. And so it's like, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. That doesn't exist anymore, because the industry has become very, very volatile, where nobody sticks around in one studio or one place for too long, and those that do are often just sedentary because they have families. And
Which, honestly, that's completely reasonable.
Those at the top are jumping ship at left, right, and center all the time too. And so there's the work culture in these studios is very much changing. And this is more so the AAA, not the indie. And this isn't the case for every AA either, by the way. But what happens is that work culture begins to disappear. That identity disintegrates. And as it disintegrates, basically there's no identity or idea that you're going to get a chance to make your own game. And so instead of being respectful to the game you're working on, you immediately try to hijack that title and make it your game right away, because it's their one chance to make your game. Now, this isn't in a way to excuse any of this, but this has started to create this mentality in the industry where it's like, I'm going to make my game right now anyways, because this is my shot and this is the only shot I'll ever get. And this is the game we're going to make. And yeah, it may say Fable on it, but it's not going to be Fable. It may say Mass Effect Andromeda, but it's not Mass Effect. Drop the Mass Effect part. It may say, blank on it, but it's not. It may say something, but it's going to be my game. And they try to hijack it and make it their own, right? And then there's the other factor you have to add in, which is the corporate boards. Any publicly traded and publicly owned company is not a company that will guaranteedly produce good products, because they're there to appease
And
board
ironically-
members and not the players. Because, to reiterate one last time, publicly traded companies, their number one goal is not you. It's not you, the player. It's not about
It's
making
the
them happy.
stockholders and shareholders.
It's about appeasing them. And if they say that, oh, we should make it more diverse so that it sells more people, because they're just looking at numbers and graphs and statistics. They're not actually looking at the game. They're not looking at the ground floor. They're not even aware of the situation. They're so detached from reality, they don't even probably know the thing that they're fucking like investing in. Other than it's some sort of fantasy game. Who cares? It's something called Fable. It has a big name, so it's got to have like a lot of money attached to it. So obviously we're going to make it even more popular by having all these check boxes and slapping all these things
because
on.
Don't forget, it's even worse because there are people that come in from like other industries where it's just like, okay, well, in other industry we do it this way, so games should be basically the same thing as a product that you want to shove out every year. It's basically the same thing. It's like not really, but you go for it, boss. See what happens.
You do you, boss. You do you.
But yeah, when it comes to publicly
Oh, and
owned
also Sturman
companies,
says,
his
his
turn.
chatfish disappeared.
It happens sometimes. Yeah, our fucking OBS crashed. If you see your chatfish missing, just let us know. It crashed earlier in the week. It's annoying that it doesn't save that, is it? There. Should be back now.
No, something that was pointed out, and I also saw this earlier. I can probably dig it up again if need be, but Nightmare Cyclist points out how Pocket Pair, the people who made Power World, apparently are looking to expand their team, but they will only hire people if the people show them their Steam libraries to confirm that they actually are a gamer themselves.
Good. Actually, good idea. The same can be said for many companies. That's wonderful. Gatekeep your development team. We've talked about this in our own studio, and I know other studios have talked about this too. We're not the only ones. And there's a good mentality. And if you're thinking of doing indie or you're in a team, you should talk to your boss about this too. Gatekeeping the dev team is incredibly important. You need to be doing thorough background checks on the people you're getting in, because once they're in, and you can terminate them. There are ways to do that, but the big thing is that is a cancer that will spread. I only let certain people into the dev team because I learned at an early stage when I was starting indie that if you just trust people blindly, they're just gonna, you're gonna get burned occasionally here and there. Even though there are lots of good people out there, it's gonna happen. And so if you're more discerning with who you hire, like I usually stick to fans first if they're from my community, and then from there I stick to aligned people. I look through their Twitters, I look through what they like, what they don't like, and I make sure that their interests are in line with what I want them to be. Because if they're not in line, they're going to be constantly chafing internally, and they'll be just nonstop fighting behind the scenes. You want diverse of thought and diverse of imagination, but what you don't want is diverse of direction, because that means that there's going to be like, oh, I want to make this and I want to go that direction, or I want to have Astria needs to have black people, and it's like, no, there are no black people. It's not canon, not a lore, not going to have them, not a single one, and that's just the reality. You're going to have to get settled to that, and if you don't like that, get out. There are when it comes to team members, you got to remember they're a dime a dozen. The good ones, once they're in, they're worth $1 million. But when it comes to finding them, they have no value until they prove their worth. A good team member is $1 million, but a random schmuck is a dime a dozen. You can literally go and find them on the streets. They're literally begging at the door. And there is no shortage in the workforce for the games industry. I know this for certainty. There's a shortage of quality work and skill and craftsmanship, but there is no shortage of actual hands that are willing to, try a crack at it. That is not the case. There might not be the most talented or the most skilled, but where does skill come from? Practice. And so sometimes investing in somebody who's a little underskilled to get them upwards is going to be far more worthwhile than grabbing the fancy guy, fucking that good old McCormack guy from Fable who fucking wanted a black character in the cover. This guy right here, this John McCormack guy. Look at how well that worked out. Didn't work out so good, did it? Fable's not around no more. Fable's not around.
No,
Also, to address what Richard's saying, he says, but why do shareholders lead the company in a direction that causes it to lose money? I mean, they're losing money on their investment. Well, I know for a
Because they
fact some of them will just short stock on the
yeah, no,
a different
there's
company.
that where it's they don't actually care about the company. They want to make a quick buck that way. So the individual company they're investing in means nothing to them. For the ones that genuinely believe that, oh, this is a good idea, it's because they actually just don't know how to make a good game.
Why do? Or did you read Richards? What he said, but why do shareholders? I didn't catch that.
Yes, just read
Okay.
that,
Yep.
and
Okay.
me and Hands addressed it.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Like for you and me, it makes total sense as to why they're wrong. But for them, remember, you have to put yourself in their shoes to understand why they're doing the things they're doing. Why is Tim
They're just playing the
Sweeney?
market.
Why is Tim Sweeney setting himself up to fail? Well, from his point of view, if you actually sit in his shoes and look at the landscape from his lens, he's not. He's trying to tear down his opposition. But the issue is by trying to tear at the opposition, he's tearing away his own foundation. And he's so tunnel visioned on that goal that he refuses to acknowledge or doesn't see the danger of what he's actually doing to himself. And so he doubles down on that course of action. You also have to understand that, and if you don't have this problem, great. But everybody has some form of ego. I have it, you have it, we all do. But it's recognizing when that ego is tripping or overreaching where it should be, right? Where it's like, oh, your ego is starting to blind you, because it will. It'll blind me, it'll blind you, it'll blind everyone. You have to recognize that. And these people, the issue is because, remember, they're in a position of absolute authority where they only answer to a certain number of people. It's easy to be blinded by your ego because, well, there's not a lot of people who can question that authority, can they? Mr. Personality Jones $2 says, I would try programming, but I'm retarded. Well, when it comes to programming, the reality is just start doing it. It's literally the best tip I can give, and just Robin will echo this
It's like
sentiment
with
as well.
drawing.
Because if you ask Robin when he's doing his coding streams for our game, or currently our website at the moment, he'll say the exact same thing. Just start. Just start. Just like make a simple game. It doesn't matter what it is. Like do something you want to do. I want to make an RPG. Start making it. Don't fucking
There's
sit
also
there.
lots of tools.
Yeah. And you can Google 90% of the shit you need to figure out, and literally just learning how to Google shit or YouTube shit, you will figure out like everything you need to know. There is so much information. We live in the information era. You can literally teach yourself anything if you want to. The only thing you need, and it's the biggest resource, is time. Time and dedication of that time. If you commit yourself to anything, you can achieve anything.
There's also lots of tools and courses, services that literally have hands-on, that are basically free or to practically free, that literally have hands-on and you learn, you make a game as you learn, kind of thing.
Yeah, like the entire course is we're going to make this game. So throughout at the end of the course, it's like, okay, this is the game that you've learned throughout the entire course.
And I've looked at a few myself, like when I was trying to learn that stuff, and well, new ones have popped up since then, and there's some actually really nice ones to just learn basics.
And then there's also Red Dot Zebra's donation for 20 Sekiros.
More
I went with the
Sekiros.
biomedicine. Pays bad, but it's safe.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, here's the thing, right? When you get a job, you can establish whatever hobby you want. And if you have a spouse, you can talk to your spouse about the hobby you want to do so that she can understand, or he can understand, that you want to develop this hobby, right?
And
then
like
they
how
can
you
be
started with she.
supportive. Well, because normally the most restricted...
I know
okay.
why. That's why I'm laughing.
The most less understanding about hobbies usually comes from a female spouse, usually. And that's historically because I know that because I've done research into this in terms of people picking up hobbies and developing like coding or getting into game making. Usually the person that's the least understanding is the female spouse. And why is that the case? It's mostly because statistically speaking, most game devs are male. At present. Just is. When it comes to they want to do it. And there are female game devs too. That's true. But when I looked at the stuff, the most people talking about it or asking about it or getting advice about it were men. Just like, what? I've done proper programming. I haven't done proper programming in a while, says Kasovic. My work has me doing PowerShell and SQL. Or SQL? Yeah, L queries. So while I used to be able to make a little killer robot in college, I would need to put in time again. Yep, skills get rusty if you don't exercise them, right? Same goes for like writing, right? You got to constantly write. Every day you got to write. Because it's a muscle you have to exercise. And if you want to draw, same thing. Every day you should draw. If you want to learn how to draw, same thing. You want to be good at cooking? Cook more. Don't buy takeout. Don't buy frozen meals and pre-made things. Make it yourself. The more stuff you make yourself, the better you're going to develop that skill and the better you're going to be at it. It's going to be great. You can do anything if you put your mind to it. You're smarter. And a lot of people are going to try to put you down and say that you can't do these things or you're not able to. The reality is, you can do more than you realize. People just try to set you up to fail because they don't want you to find alternatives. They don't want you to do it yourself. You fix your own thing. John Deere doesn't want you to fix that tractor. John Deere now you shouldn't because they'll sue the shit out of you. But you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, Right to Repair is a shit show right now.
Yeah, Right to Repair is a shit show. Random subject, number 37. Random subject. Fuck. But yeah. When it comes to Fable, in my opinion, is currently in a state of what we call a lost goddamn cause. Oh, yes, I was going to pull it up and I got distracted.
That's not hard.
We're going to just go look at Fable's store page because I was going to check to see if it even had workshop functionality to begin with. And I do not believe it does. It does not.
I'm not seeing the workshop button, so...
Now, to be fair, they might add it later, but it's one of those things where it currently doesn't.
I've not heard anything about it
weird.
getting.
Wish list now. I like how they have a little magnifying glass. Like, yeah, look at that. I can look at that.
Look at the little title card thing that we're using.
And that's Steam. I think Steam did that so you can like, because in case it was a gameplay picture, but it's just funny because it's just text.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the new Fable, my biggest problem with it is it doesn't really look like Fable. Now, does anybody in this room, and Chatfish included, are any of you in disagreement with our assessment of the game? I'm curious. Bucky, how do you feel? Are you going to disagree with me and say that you were excited for the new Fable?
I am excited to see it fail.
I'm also excited to see Gibbs have to play it.
Yes.
I think that's the only thing we're looking forward to is Kip's suffering through it and us laughing at him.
Who wants to place bets that they're going to do a pre-order to get early access to the game, chat?
Oh,
I hope Gibbs has not only just a pre-order, but an Ultimate Edition too.
Yeah, well, that's what it'll be. Yes. So I
Try that.
suspect Gibbs is going to have to spend over $100 on this game.
Probably. Because that's
I'll
usually
pay
what they
120. Yeah.
because they usually basically have it as in the like super awesome Ultimate Edition that's double the price of the base game.
And then, chat, we just have to get him to play it for more than 2 hours, and he can't refund it anymore.
Oh.
It's got LGBTQ plus tag on it.
I also like how they click on that, and the first thing that pops
Chat,
up is
when it
Last
comes
of
out,
Us.
When it comes out and you like give him like $1,000 over like getting him to play it, he will
Villain
feel,
protagonist.
he'll feel so bad he'll just keep playing it until he can't refund it.
Yep.
In fact, you should make him play through the entire game.
Oh,
start to
logical
finish.
horror. No, hold on. That one's actually secretly brilliant, given how bad the game is going to be. Probably.
Yeah, you understand something. The $1,000 to restart the campaign is still in effect.
It's true. No
It's
one
still
said
a
it, but
potential thing that can
it is still technically a thing. He hasn't
The
disallowed
last
it.
time chat did that was in Fable 2. Oh my god.
I know.
I remember.
It's like
I
reset.
was there.
He's like, I was the reason it happened.
God
You were
damn.
like, you were like an hour from the ending, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I think he was actually closer than that.
It was so close.
Imagine he's right about to like finish the game, then all of a sudden swam down $1,000. It's like, well.
Back to the beginning. The things we do to keep the studio's lights on. The devs better appreciate this. You better
I don't.
appreciate this, devs in the background, because some of you are here. Some of you. Like, no.
Oh, Bathios was here at least as of 2 minutes ago, so.
It depends on the
just
game.
$1,000.
Also, if it's a sequential game and you want me to go back to the first game in the sequential game,
Isn't it like 1,000 per game?
it's 1,000 plus. So if somebody tries that in Mass Effect 3, you can, but it's 3,000 flat.
This is fine.
This is
I I find your terms.
The $1,000
Accept-
totally not woke and horrible edition. Oh yeah.
No, and
Oh.
then imagine that, right? So you make him go back one game, then right when he's about to finish it to get back to the third game, you pay 2K, so he has to go back to the first game.
Gibbs' pure post-war generation throwback, and I mean that as a compliment. It was the generation that just went out and did stuff. Pure post-war
Unironically,
generation.
2000s era like video games and just Outlook was pretty awesome. America, fuck yeah.
I mean, I am time capsuled, so I live out in the Midwest in Minnesota, right? And we very much like the culture of the hometown I grew up in. Like when the war happened, when the Twin Tower stuff fell, it was sad, right? But our out here we didn't change. The mentality of what we had out here hasn't changed. We're this weird little golden area of Minnesota. I know it's a shitty state, but there is one area that's golden, and it's the area where I live, and that's where everybody still has this like can-do spirit. And I will always believe in it. You can do anything. And anybody that tells you otherwise is trying to put you down. Even after all those bad things happened historically, that I won't name too much because we don't do politics, but you know what I'm talking about. The whole purpose is to put you down and make it feel like you can't achieve anything. That's bullshit. We went to the goddamn moon with a goddamn, like, barely any RAM whatsoever. Motherfucker, we can do anything. Through the strength of will.
Back in the day.
Your own will, your willpower is something that people very often underestimate. It only takes the will, like the world itself changes when one great man comes to be, because all he does is harness his will. You know, whether that great man does horrific things is another thing, but you know what I mean? Like the will of a single man or multiple people can shift the entire world. All you need to do is focus on the thing you want and desire and move to make it happen. There you go. You're welcome. Now, don't do any crimes. That's not the crime will.
Here, Chatfish,
That's
go
the
do
thing.
a crime.
Go commit a crime.
They're like look back at me. They got the little fucking beanie bag hats on, you know, because they're fucking the little holes cut out of them. But you know what I mean. And yes, I will never change. I am the 90s and early 2000s personified, and I will be that way till I die.
Ibs is democracy manifest.
Red Dot Zero 26 euros and says, "You used physically knitted memory for the moonshot." Yeah, how does it make you feel? Are you scared? Are you ready for the Artemis? Bucky's like, oh.
Also, Psycho Star,
Yes, I am.
your donation it was for Chatfish Fund. Is that for you to get a Chatfish or for someone else?
Richard donates £5,
I need
says,
to
"My
know.
biggest problem was their moral nihilism. I consider to be absolutely disgusting. The fact that they proudly stated it extremely disturbing." Yes, absolutely. The big problem with nihilism and nihilistic tendencies is that they are self-fulfilling prophecies. If you think it, you can manifest it. And if you think you're going to fail, you're going to manifest that failure because you're actively working towards failure. You should be working towards success. Yeah, no, hold on. Let me finish my thought. You should be working towards success. And even if you fail, you should view that failure as a stepping stone to the progress of your dream. You will fail, but that's okay. Everybody does. All great people do. Just fail and continue. Pick yourself up, chin up, and go get 'em, tiger. Like, meow.
Yeah, there's a reason when people are trying to change their mindset, the advice that people give a lot is visualization is one of the best things that people can do. Because it's like, look, if you think you're going to do a shitty job, well, you're probably going to do a shitty job because that's what you thought you were going to do.
Yeah. Put pride in everything you do, even if you have like a job you didn't want to do. It's the mentality I learned real quickly because my old man taught me that. When I went to go work at Burger King because my friend tricked me and said it would be fun. Yeah. It wasn't. But the big thing is that
The guy that was sad in the corner? Yeah, that was me, kid.
when it comes to like working there, right? Like it's like put pride in your work. Like that's what my dad said. Like always do your best. And if you do your best everywhere, like people will notice. And they did. And that's the most important thing. Like, I remember getting like $20 fucking tips all the time, you know, because I had that kib
Kibbs looks at you.
charm.
Who makes the best Burger King foot lettuce? That's right. Kib does.
Me. Burger King foot lettuce, now with kib flavor. Now with kib
Gabe loves putting his feet in your Burger King
Best
burger.
part is,
Check.
Kibbs, you shouldn't joke about that. There's a certain section of your audience which might go, yes, please.
No. Terrible. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. Keep saying meow, not bearing those allegations, bud. Not because listen, that meow comes from the fucking goddamn ever since we played Metal Gear 3.
Revolver Ocelot.
Meow.
I'm not gonna lie.
That broke me as a human being.
Here's the thing. That's some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. But also,
It's supposed to be
because of that-
cool and it's really not.
No, here's the thing. I think that scene is perfect for what it's trying to do because Ocelot thinks it's cool, but everyone else is like, bro, that's cringe.
But does anybody have any further points to add to Fable? Because I think we've kind of wrapped up the Fable thing in a nice little bow. I can push out to see
No,
what
I
you think.
did. I did confirm a
Say
little
that.
bit of what Yinglis commented. There were some over the past 3-4 years. A bunch of directors, even one of the co-founders of Playground Games is left, and a bunch of director leaves. But right now, this looks to be leaving for new opportunities, quote unquote, which would still be
Jumping ship, probably more like.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. More probable jumping ship. So there's that to add to the fire.
The only other thing I would potentially add is in regards to like them not wanting to add a morality system. Well, I do think most of it is they just don't want to program it. There is a part of me that thinks that one of the other reasons they don't want to add it is that, well, if you just don't have a morality system, well, people can't judge them for their behavior because they're terrible people and they don't want to be judged.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great point. You bring that up, by the way, because I saw that in posts from like people that had trans profile pictures. I'm just saying. And the big thing is that they constantly mentioned that they hated the morality system because they didn't like being judged or feeling consequences for their actions. And I'm just like,
Yes,
that is so funny.
And I think that is part of it. And for some of them, that might be the primary, but I think for the project, it's just they don't want to put any dev time to it. But definitely for those types of people, it's just I don't want to be judged for my actions. My actions don't have consequences. There are people that do legitimately think that. And so even a video game consequences, they still hate. Or a video game consequences? Yes. I accidentally said it, so we're keeping it.
Keeping it in. All right, boys.
We're
Well,
doing it live.
I think that wraps up the bunch cast. It's a shorter bunch cast because we actually managed to get through all the other topics in the Fireside Chat stream for the week.
Not gonna ignore Fuzzy's articles.
Oh, fuck. Fuzzy
Always.
has articles? Never mind. I guess it's a
I
little
would
longer.
ignore
Things he
Fuzzy's
just
articles.
posted.
God
I
damn.
would
Oh no,
ignore them.
I already told you the TLDR of all of them. Those were just if you need the source to confirm about the leadership leavings.
Chatfish, you take us at our word, right? They're just shaking their head like, mm-mm. All
No, no.
right. God damn it! Blindly trust whatever I say. All right, let's get the sources real quick so you can see, chat. There's 3 sources. Fable narrative lead Anna McGill, leaving Playground Games, says a heroically talented team remains. Oh, that's that's the god damn it, stupid fucking thing.
It's on IGN and crashed. Ugh.
It's IGN and was like, oh, copyrighted content. Fuck off. All right, so there we go. Narrative Playground leads says heroically talented team remains. Like, okay, like one person doing that is like, okay, yeah, maybe something popped up, you know, something real life or a new job opportunity, you know, that they really wanted to get to and they just ditch, right? Oh my God, that fucking glasses, dude. Like, it just, I hate it. I hate.
You hate him because of his glasses. I hate him because I just don't like the actor.
Okay, like those glasses are truly terrifically terrible. Like they're modern.
Glasses person.
They're modern ergonomics, and it's not
are.
authentic medieval. Ooh. Nor is it fantastical either. Fable has a unique art style. Okay, one last whinge, right? I need to get out of my
He's
system.
lying.
There's
There's
one
gonna-
last, but they're
he's-
really more.
One last
lying.
whinge. One last one, right? The art style. What the fuck, man? Like, it's trash. Like, Fable is never about realism. It was always about caricatures and cartoon. Like, fuck me. Kill myself. Shmormu, do you have something you want to add?
It looks terrible. I hate it.
He's like,
Thank you for your contribution.
And I'm sad that they're molesting Fable, but many such cases with millennials.
Many such cases.
Co-founder and studio director at Forza and Fable. Studio Playground leaves the company. Okay, see, like the fact that the multiple ones, several Forza Horizon developers leave Playground. Games and Xbox form a new game studio, probably over creative differences, if I had to guess. Probably over creative.
Yay, more creative differences.
Which is like usually like they're tired of the DEIs being brought in, and they're like, I want to get out of here.
You're talking
mean,
from 2022 to 2023. You're talking about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, possibly more. That's unrecorded, high-profile leaves.
That's gonna happen. I mean, people like these big AAA games are flopping after flop. Like it's at some point, people are gonna get cutting or get cut. Like
Yeah, no, that's what I was about to say. Is like unironically, at a certain point, like they can't keep eating these big hits. Like people can say it's like, oh, X company has like more money than God. Sure, but the issue is at a certain point, even those big companies cannot keep eating losses this bad.
So even with like these mega corporations, a lot of them don't actually sit on a whole lot of liquid cash. They if they for tax reasons they don't.
Yeah, because they don't get
They keep it in assets, stocks, etc. And if they have to keep liquidating that to cover the fucking huge losses they're taking, you're gonna start seeing heads roll.
Yep. Because at the end of the day, the people who run these, they don't want to have to deal with that.
So theoretically, they can do tax write-offs with certain amounts, but when your tax write-offs are bigger than your income for the year,
I'll use this as an example, right? Like, you know, the AI bubble, right? And how it's projected to lose, like, what was it, $14 billion this year?
Yeah.
You don't want that type of heat. Now, that's AI, not gaming, but still, the point still stands.
Now, before we get into taxes, U.S. taxes for poor Chatfishes, like poor Baffias over there, probably a good spot to wrap it. Because I think we've gotten through everything. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next stream. The next stream will be starting in about 20, 30 minutes, probably. So we'll see you in the pen and paper campaign, where we'll be going into the ziggurat and getting murdered by horrific Cthulhu monsters.
Actually, we're already in the ziggurat. We're in the basement of the ziggurat.
Yeah, we're probably just going to die in that basement. Little corner.
Hold on.
Next to the yinglets, a little pile.
I want to say we tripped like Albine or India's character.
No.
Cheese it, go, go, go.
Good night.
Cheese it.
For those
I
who
like
don't
that.
follow us to the next stream, and we will see you guys in the next stream. Take care and have a